I wonder what Campdave thinks.
The Rubber Tramp Rendezvous was a huge success this year. My hat's off to Jude and all of the volunteers who made this event possible. I left early because I don't do really well in big crowds. I was coming to spend a few nights in a campfire with a few friends. And when it turned into a convention, well, it's just not my thing. And that's no reflection on anyone else. That's just me. I also didn't like the exclusionary part of the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. I wholly support, 100% support, the women's RTR. What a great chance for women to bond and to do their thing and to feel secure and be able to talk and all those things. But when we come to the main event, I think it's very inappropriate to have women's only meetings. The way you solve that, and it's a pretty easy solution, is you schedule 2 meetings. And one is everybody's meeting and another might be a women's only meeting at the same time. That solves the problem.
One thing I don't think happens is that the women sit around all day talking about their personal hygiene. That's what we've been told they're doing at these women's meetings, and that's why men can't come. Instead, what I've heard is that a lot of women stand around and bitch about men. Well, we're going to have to leave that part to the women and their own leadership.
My point is, a lot of things happen at the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous that are symbolic. Excluding people from meetings is something we should never do. I was happy to see the TR take off and develop a life of its own. Apparently, this splinter group from the RTR started last year when Bob shut down a karaoke party. They came back this year and said, "You're not shutting us down this time." They established a camp right next to the RTR, and it is now forming a significant part of the RTR. But since it's not on Bob's permit, no one can really say very much about it. The TR is essentially the minority voice at work. I have some suggestions which the organizers are free to leave or take. There is an old saying which suggests if you really want to keep something, you have to give it away.
When it comes to commercial permits, Bob's not giving anything away. He gets all the commercial permits for himself, but he doesn't let anybody share. You could fund the entire RTR from booth space sales alone. Food, art, insurance, windshields, paint. There are a lot of vendors that would like to reach the RTR crowd, but that would mean Bob would have to share. You have to give it away if you want to keep it. Which is another way of saying the RTR has simply grown way beyond the hands of one person. Another suggestion for the organizers: since you spent all this money on porta potties, don't cheap out on toilet paper. Either insist the contractor provide adequate toilet paper, or use your Amazon affiliate links to buy it cheap. But really, this is a matter of hygiene. A lot of people shaking hands after using the toilet, and we really need both toilet paper and hand washing stations. The same thing applies to the trash bin. Sadly enough, the days of a few people meeting in the desert for camaraderie are over. This is a big event now, and we need adequate trash removal to meet the needs of such a large group. It's just common sense, and as Bob pointed out, part of a learning curve, something that we can do better next time. One suggestion is we bring in fresh voices for presenters. Of course, we all love the old favorites, but we've heard their presentation many times, and there are people who are real experts in what they do. Let's look for some of those guys. It isn't that the information is necessarily new, it's just that they present it from a different point of view. Of course, we always love the old guys, and we'll keep them in our hearts, and we hope to hear from them too. As far as I'm concerned, the RTR people did a great job, and the TR people did a great job. Now what we need to do next year is unify. We need to listen to the minority voice. We need to try to be more inclusive, not less. And we need to find a way that we can all, as vagabonds, as nomads, as people living in our vans, come together for the better of the whole community. As for me, I'm a minority voice, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe so I can get to my minimum count that YouTube requires. And I wish you all the best in your travels. We'll see you next year. This is Tim Painter from the RTR signing out.